listening to the WrestleHavoc Podcast on YouTube, where we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. We talk all that goes on in the realm of WWE and AEW every week. And now, here's your host, the one that will give you a reality check on pro wrestling, Flamin' Ricky DeReyes. This is the WrestleHavoc Podcast.
I am absolutely speechless of what we saw at the end of that Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I'm absolutely speechless, and it was possibly the best storytelling that I have ever seen watching any type of professional wrestling show. This is the Royal Rumble 2023 review right here on the WrestleHavoc Podcast. I'm, of course, yours truly, Flamin' Ricky DeReyes, right here on the podcast in which we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. Holy shit. That ending alone was absolutely amazing and one of the best things that I have ever seen on WWE programming in a long, and I mean a long ass time. The emotion, the drama, the spectacle, the intense, absolutely insane. Just everything about it was the culmination of 8+ months of storytelling since last summer. And it's only going to get better on the road to WrestleMania. SAMI ZAYN and Kevin Owens are the two most over babyfaces in the WWE right now. And it's going to get even better 3 weeks when we head to Montreal for the Elimination Chamber. Of course, this is my Royal Rumble 2023 review. We got a lot of things to cover right here on the WrestleHavoc Podcast, right here on YouTube, in which we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. And, as the frickin' referee would say, ring that damn bell for more notifications. Also, the WrestleHavoc Podcast is also available on audio platforms. It is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and Google Podcasts. So if you guys want to check out the WrestleHavoc Podcast in audio format, it is available on all of those platforms. So, the Royal Rumble took place in San Antonio, Texas, at the Alamo Dome for the third time in its illustrious history. The first time was, of course, 1997, in which Stone Cold Steve Austin won, plus, of course, back in 2017 when Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble. This was a show that I was very, very, very excited about. The reason why, not only because of the fact that it's the Royal Rumble, because it kicks off the road to WrestleMania, but it was because of the fact that it was Triple H's first booked Royal Rumble. This is Triple H's first road to WrestleMania. And I will say this, there was a couple of hiccups on the show. A lot of people, the men's Royal Rumble was pretty mixed. I personally enjoyed the men's Royal Rumble. The women's Royal Rumble, a lot of people liked the women's Royal Rumbles more than the men. I actually liked the men more than the women's Royal Rumble. But I will say this, even though both Rumble matches had their hiccups, the two right people won their respective matches. Cody Rhodes, that being the right person to win the Royal Rumble, won the match, and of course, Rhea Ripley on the women's side won the women's Royal Rumble match, and now they are on their way to WrestleMania. We also had the first ever Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, which was a very weird, unique, somewhat creative match that had mixed reactions on social media. I personally did not like it and liked it at the same time. I have no idea where I stand when it comes to the Pitch Black match, but I will give you guys my thoughts on this review. We had the worst match of the entire night, that being Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair, a match that basically felt ridiculously rushed, in my opinion. It realistically, if you think about it, that match did not need to be at the Royal Rumble. And the whole Uncle Howdy stuff, we had no reveal at all of Uncle Howdy. They kept on teasing the whole thing, which I feel is, in a way, the right way to go, but at the same time, not the right way to go, because I was definitely looking forward to see what they were going to be doing in the Pitch Black match, and realistically, we did not get anything when it came to that, and we did not get anything when it comes to Alexa Bliss and Uncle Howdy. We just had some small teaser, not necessarily teaser, but some sort of teaser right after the match. Of course, we had both Royal Rumble matches, and of course, we had the main event, that being Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. A match that everybody was looking forward to, not for Kevin Owens' sake, but for Sami Zayn's sake, because of what happened, of course, this past Monday at Raw 30. Sami Zayn was found not guilty in the tribal court of Sami Zayn, but Roman told Sami that he is going to be delivering his final tests. And in the days leading towards the Royal Rumble, it caused a huge division on social media about who should win the Royal Rumble. Should it be Sami Zayn or should it be Cody Rhodes? Now, I was on the Cody Rhodes camp, and I still am on the Cody Rhodes camp. I think Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble was the absolute right decision to make. But you cannot deny the popularity of Sami Zayn right now. And I talked about this on episode 5 of the podcast a couple of days ago. There is a reason why WWE booked Montreal for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, to give Sami his moment. But the goal is not for Sami Zayn to face off against Roman Reigns. The goal of this whole storyline is to reunite both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in order to dethrone the Usos for the tag team championships at WrestleMania. Because keep in mind, where did all of the tension start regarding the Bloodline when Sami Zayn first inserted himself as the honorary use? Because the tension did not start with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. The tension started with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. Jey Uso despised Sami Zayn. And then months later at War Games, Sami Zayn pledged his allegiance, and Jey and Sami became best friends. And after what happened in that amazing ending, what side does Jey Uso lie on? What side is Jey Uso on? Jey Uso is in the exact same position in where Sami Zayn was a week ago. It's great storytelling, and I'm emotionally invested in what the fuck I am watching. See, this is the thing that makes wrestling good. You're emotionally invested in what you are watching, because week after week, you do not know what the hell is going to go on. That is the beauty of this Sami Zayn Bloodline storyline. And it's only going to get better as we lead towards Elimination Chamber and as we lead towards WrestleMania. I'm very excited for WrestleMania season this year. I wasn't very excited for last year's WrestleMania because we already knew what the matches were. Realistically, the only excitement and hype around last year's WrestleMania was the arrival of Cody Rhodes. And WrestleMania ended up being a pretty good WrestleMania overall. But it's safe to say that the past few years when it comes to WrestleMania, there really hasn't been a lot of crazy excitement for WrestleMania. This year is very different. This year, we are getting a WrestleMania worth remembering. And what happened at the end of last night set the tone for what we are going to be seeing for the next couple months leading in to WrestleMania. And I am all for it. But yeah, those were my initial thoughts of this entire Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Was it an amazing pay-per-view? No, it wasn't. But it's safe to say, even with all the hiccups that this show had, everybody that watched this pay-per-view is going to remember this pay-per-view for only one reason and one reason only. And that is the ending. That amazing, tragic, emotional, it made a lot of people cry. I do not blame you. it was an emotional ending. It was a sad ending, but at the same time, it set the tone for what you're going to be seeing in the future. But yeah, that was my initial thoughts on the Royal Rumble. Sorry I added on a little bit about there. I just wanted to be a little bit passionate on this review because I'm fucking excited. I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for WWE in a very, very long time. You guys know, I started this channel back in January of 2021. My first review was the Royal Rumble 2021, and we had the last man standing match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. Look where we are now, 2 years later. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and the stakes are so much higher. You love to see it. Triple H has done a very good job with this storyline, and I think, heading into WrestleMania season, we are in for a very, very amazing treat. Amazing, amazing treat. And this is all I want as a wrestling fan. I want WWE to succeed, not only financially, but I want WWE to succeed creatively. And so far, what they did with this storyline is a flat-out success. It paid off very well. But enough of me talking about that. We are going to be talking about that later on as we get to the show and the main event, because I got a lot of things to say on the main event, man. The main event was just amazing. But before the match, or before the show, I should say, on the pre-show, or on the kickoff show, as they like to call it, we had a small backstage segment with the entire Bloodline. And Roman Reigns tells SAMI ZAYN that he's going to be on his side the entire night. So that basically squashed all the rumors that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. And you know what? That was great that he wasn't in the Royal Rumble, because when Cody won the Royal Rumble, you did not really hear any chance of SAMI ZAYN or Sami Uso. The crowd was actually definitely in favor for Cody Rhodes when he won the Royal Rumble. But I'll talk about that later on as I get through the Men's Royal Rumble. Before the Men's Royal Rumble started, yes, we had the Men's Royal Rumble actually kick off the show. Pat McAfee, the one and only Pat McAfee, makes his triumphant return. Pat McAfee wasn't on television because he was doing things for college football, and now he is back at the commentary table. You guys know that I am a huge fan of Pat McAfee on commentary. The reason why I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee on commentary is because of the amount of enthusiasm that he has for the product. You can tell this man is a fucking fan and just wants the best for everybody. But not only that, he wants to make the viewer, just entertain about what they are watching, but at the same time, what they are listening to. Pat McAfee is just absolutely amazing. And Pat McAfee, whether you like it or not, I wasn't really the biggest Michael Cole fan. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I wasn't the biggest Michael Cole fan at all. But with Pat McAfee, Michael Cole is just that time. He's just a million times better. Not only that, ever since Triple H took over, Michael Cole has been an absolute gem on the microphone. He actually feels like he likes being there. He doesn't feel forced whatsoever. Because when Vince McMahon was running creative in WWE, every time when he was on Michael Cole's headset, Michael Cole just felt absolutely forced, constantly repeated the same things. Like, for example, every time when Sasha Banks came out, this man always said, "It's boss time." You can remember that. Or every time when Roman Reigns came out, the first thing that Michael Cole would always say was, "The big dog." Shit like that. Cringeworthy shit like that. Constantly repeating himself. Very bad commentating. But when Triple H first took over creative, you saw a drastic change in Michael Cole. And a lot of that change with Michael Cole really started with Pat McAfee. And you can tell, man, when Pat McAfee came out, Michael Cole was just through the moon with this man. He was absolutely excited to see Pat McAfee on this show. So Pat McAfee was on commentary, and this man is just absolutely entertaining. So we start off with the Men's Royal Rumble. That's a very rare thing for any Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I believe this is the first time that the Men's Royal Rumble actually kicked off the show. I believe last year never mind. I was about to say that the Women's Rumble started last year, but no, I just remembered the opening match for last year was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. This year, the Men's Royal Rumble opened the show. And you know what? If you really start to think about it, I think the match placement was actually very smart on WWE's end. because they knew the impact that the main event was going to have, that you just couldn't put the main event either in the opening segment or make the main event the first match, or you can't even put it in the middle of the card. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens that match needed to be the main event, even if the pay-per-view was called the Royal Rumble. It just needed to be the main event because the stakes were so high when it came to that match. And you know what? It absolutely paid off, and I think them opening the show up with the Men's Royal Rumble was actually the right decision for them to make. So let's get on with the Men's Royal Rumble. What are my overall thoughts on the Men's Royal Rumble? I definitely enjoyed the Men's Royal Rumble. On social media, it did get a lot of mixed reactions, and there were a lot of valid points. There was a lot of valid criticisms when it came to this Royal Rumble. Like, for example, Cody Rhodes coming in at number 30. Everybody always gets excited about the number 30 entrant, but very rarely WWE tends to spoil the number 30 entrant. And I feel like now, even if we knew Cody Rhodes was coming back, I think looking back, it wasn't really the right decision to air those video packages about Cody Rhodes, even if we knew already. Looking back, because I always said, like, I remember stating on a previous review, I know it's very smart for WWE to air these video packages, but now looking back, I'm like, was it really a smart decision? It would have been so much better if they left it as a surprise, even though it was pretty obvious that Cody Rhodes is going to come out. So Cody Rhodes, in my opinion, should have came in a little bit earlier instead of the number 30 entrant. Some people that I liked did not last long at all. For example, people like Karrion Kross did not even last, like, he probably lasted like less than 5 minutes throughout the entirety of the Royal Rumble. But I will say, man, the MVP, even if he didn't win this Royal Rumble match, the MVP of this whole fucking match was Gunther. Gunther looked incredibly strong. I believe he beat Rey Mysterio's record, because Rey Mysterio's record in the Royal Rumble was that he lasted over an hour. This man lasted over 70 fucking minutes in the match, beating everybody's ass. It was absolutely insane. But we're going to be going through all the moments that happened in the Royal Rumble. Of course, I'm going to be naming all of the entrants that happened in the Royal Rumble. Did we have a lot of surprise entrants? We had not a lot. We didn't really have a lot of surprise entrants, but we had some surprises there. So, and number one, it's Gunther. And number two, Sheamus. Yes, Gunther and Sheamus kicked off the Royal Rumble match. The match starts, both exchange chops, or shots, I should say. We got a chop by Sheamus. Gunther then tries to eliminate Sheamus, but then Sheamus comes back and then goes for the Irish curse backbreaker. Sheamus also almost eliminates Gunther. The number 3 entrant comes out, and Miz is next. Miz tries to avoid almost getting eliminated right off the bat. Gunther takes Sheamus to the apron. Miz then pulls the boot of Sheamus, and then Sheamus gets back into the ring. Sheamus then chases Miz around. Miz then enters the ring. We get a chop by Gunther on Sheamus. Gunther and Sheamus then proceed to beat the living shit out of the Miz. At number 4, we got Kofi Kingston from the New Day. Kingston immediately goes for a crossbody. He proceeds to go after everyone. Then he manages to hit the boom drop on the Miz. At number 5, we got Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano comes in, cleans house. Basically, that's like a common occurrence with all these entrants. Like, whenever all these entrants come out, they all tend to, like, just go shine and do all their spots on everybody. We get an enziguri on Miz by Gargano. Of course, Miz and Gargano have some sort of history dating back to the past couple months on Raw. He follows up with a DDT on Miz, and he almost eliminates Miz. And he sets Miz up and lets Sheamus hit the 10 beats of the Bowering on Miz. Gargano then super kicks the Miz, and the Miz is actually still holding onto the rope, but what happens is Sheamus enters the fray and bro kicks the Miz, I should say, to elimination. So Miz is now eliminated from the match. Gunther then comes in, but then Gunther and Sheamus Gargano and Sheamus try to eliminate Gunther. At number 6, Xavier Woods from the New Day comes in. We got a double bulldog by both the New Day and by both Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods on Gunther. The New Day go for the double team on Gargano. At this point, everybody is down, and both Woods and Kofi face off. They do some sort of funny shit, and then Sheamus comes in, and then Gunther comes in as well. At number 7, we got Karrion Kross. We get a couple of clotheslines by Kross on Woods, followed by a suplex on Kofi Kingston. Kross and Gunther then proceed to exchange shots, and then Gunther hits a furious lariat on Kross, but then Kross, being Kross, gets back up and hits the Saito suplex on Gunther after that. Sheamus then comes in and both exchange shots. At number 8, we got Shush Chad Gable. He shushes everybody and does a random move, and he basically does what everybody else is doing. After that, at number 9, we got Drew McIntyre. So that's our first real big, entrant in the match. So realistically, throughout the entirety of this match, at this point, you had Drew McIntyre and Sheamus really teaming up. They've been doing this whole tag team thing for the past couple of weeks on SmackDown. So they're doing the exact same thing right here at the Royal Rumble match. We get a belly-to-belly throw on Kofi, followed by a Glasgow kiss on Gable. Then he face plants Gargano on Gable. Kross then enters the fray. Drew then claymores Kross with elimination, or I should say 2 elimination. So Kross immediately gets eliminated, which is a damn shame to see in my opinion. Gunther then faces off with Drew McIntyre. Both exchange shots. Then Drew goes for the Future Shock DDT after that. Then, number 10, we got Santos Escobar from Legado del Fantasma. Santos is on a roll. He goes immediately for the Hurricane Rana on Woods. Then Escobar lands on the apron, but then Sheamus tries to hit the 10 beats on him, but Santos counters and hits an enziguri. He follows up with a crossbody off the top rope on Chad Gable, which looked amazing. Drew then takes Gable and Sheamus chops him. At number 11, we got Angelo Dawkins from the Street Profits. Dawkins goes for the back elbow on Santos, and before I continue on, there's one thing that a lot of people pointed out. The entranceway to the ring is so long because of the fact that they're at the Alamo Dome that one big problem that the Royal Rumble match faced as a whole was every time when a wrestler took their time whenever they were making their entrant in the match, as soon as they would come in the ring, the countdown would just start to go off. And then the buzzard would immediately, after it would count down to 0, the buzzard would go off. So as soon as a wrestler would come in, the next person would basically come out. That was a little bit of a nitpick right there. I did not like that. At this point, the ring is filling up. Woods holds on to the rope. Kofi holds on to the ropes as well, but then Gunther boots Woods and gets eliminated. Later on, Kofi then tries to eliminate Gunther, but then Santos Escobar comes in. Kofi Kingston goes for a stomp on Santos Escobar. Gunther then pounces Kofi to the outside and lands on the chair. Now, apparently that was some sort of a botch. Now, everybody thought he was going to be doing one of the annual Kofi Kingston special in which this guy would basically do the most insane moves to avoid elimination in the Royal Rumble, but unfortunately Kofi Kingston did not do that in this match. And number 12, here's a big one, Brock Lesnar. This man announced his entry in the Royal Rumble match just a night prior on SmackDown in a segment that I have stated it went from very bad to very good. So Brock Lesnar, of course, whenever Brock Lesnar is in a Royal Rumble match, this man goes absolutely freaking berserk. Sheamus and Drew try to gang up on Brock Lesnar, but it's not enough. Brock Lesnar then German suplexes everybody, so we are in Suplex City, bitch. And then Lesnar catches Escobar from a crossbody attempt, and then he fall away. Now, this elimination was fucking crazy. Lesnar grabs Santos Escobar, and what happens is this man, he catches Escobar and basically hits a fall-away slam on Santos Escobar, but instead of hitting the mat, Santos Escobar actually gets thrown over the top rope onto the outside, landing on the floor. If that is not painful, I have absolutely no idea what is. That was crazy. So at this point, Lesnar just goes on an elimination spree. This man just eliminates fucking everybody. Of course, because he's Brock fucking Lesnar. We got a German suplex on Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar and Gunther face off. And, when it comes to these face-offs, I remember, the last few years under Vince McMahon and the Royal Rumbles. I remember they would do these face-offs with like people like Braun Strowman and Shanky, and it would get like no reaction whatsoever. I think that happened last year. Like Shanky and this other big dude would like face off. I think it was Omos and Shanky. Omos and Shanky be like facing off, and like nobody cared at all. But when with people like Gunther and Brock Lesnar, the crowd just absolutely popped for this moment. So that was great to see. So Brock Lesnar and Gunther face off, and we get number 13. And lo and behold, number 13 is Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, of course, is currently feuding with Brock Lesnar because this past Monday at Raw 30, Brock Lesnar cost Lashley the United States title. Lashley immediately comes in the ring and spears the shit out of Brock Lesnar. Then he spears Drew McIntyre, and then he spears Sheamus, and then he spears Gunther. But then what happens is Lesnar immediately gets back up and he picks up Lashley. It looks like he's going to hit the F5, but Lashley escapes, and Lashley manages to eliminate Brock Lesnar from the match, which was fucking crazy. At this point, so we get number 14. Number 14 is Baron Corbin, and this made me laugh my ass off because I knew this shit was going to happen as soon as Brock Lesnar got eliminated. As soon as Brock Lesnar got eliminated, this man went on a tirade. Like, he grabbed the steel steps and he literally banged it on top of the announce table, scaring everybody off. He goes on a tirade, and as soon as he's about to leave, and meanwhile Corbin is making his entrance to the ring, Lesnar beats the shit out of Baron Corbin, which is the funniest thing ever. He hits an F5 on him, and then he attacks the referee. That was great to see. So then after that, Lesnar leaves. We get number 15. Number 15 is Seth Rollins. So the first thing Seth does is to try to avoid a possible future elimination. Seth Rollins actually brings Baron Corbin in the ring because you're being smart. And then he brings Corbin in the ring and then immediately eliminates Corbin. So good riddance, Baron Corbin. Go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. So then after that, we got number 16, that being Otis, of course, the other half from Alpha Academy. Of course, his partner, Chad Gable, is already in the match. I believe he got eliminated by Brock Lesnar, correct me if I'm wrong. And then we get a spinning back fist by Otis. Otis then slams Drew. We get number 17. Number 17 is Rey Mysterio. His music plays, but supposedly he doesn't come out. Now, as soon as this happened, I had two speculations on my head while I saw this live. Number one, I immediately thought Karrion Kross attacked him from behind because of the fact that Kross lost to Rey Mysterio the night before on SmackDown. But, lo and behold, after the next entrant, after Rey Mysterio, turns out it was not Karrion Kross. It was none other than Dominic Mysterio, the ex-prisoner, I should say. Dominic Mysterio comes out with the Rey Mysterio mask, and he takes his time before getting in the ring. And notice how I put over Michael Cole at the beginning of this review. Bruh, when I talk about how good Michael Cole is, just look at the disdain, in kayfabe, of course, the disdain this man has over Dominic. It is second to none. It's just absolutely amazing. Fucking phenomenal. So Dominic Mysterio takes his time before getting in the ring. Dom finally gets in the ring, and then Sheamus no-sells a couple of body shots. Very bad body shots, I should say, by Dominic. Number 19, we get Elias. He hits Gunther with the guitar, and then all of a sudden Sheamus and Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore kick and the Bro kick at the same time on Elias. Then Elias gets eliminated by both Drew and Sheamus. We get the number 20th entrant, that being Finn Balor from the Judgment Day. Now we get our second member from the Judgment Day come in. Finn goes for the Sling Blade on Drew. Sheamus comes in. He picks up Finn but escapes. Finn then drops down Sheamus, and then Gargano comes in, and then he tries to eliminate Finn Balor, but then Balor is on the apron. He runs the ropes, but then runs into Dominic. He tries to eliminate Gargano, but then Gargano eventually gets eliminated. Dominic and Finn Balor face off with Sheamus and Drew. Both proceed to fight it out, but we're leading to our 21st entrant in the Royal Rumble match. And number 21 is a surprise entrant, a very shocking surprise entrant. I actually did not expect this to be a surprise entrant, and it's none other than Can You Dig It, Sucka? Booker T. Booker T looks absolutely amazing at his age, man. This man can still fucking go. We get a kick by Booker. He actually hits the bookend on Balor, which looked amazing. And he does the spinneroonie, which is fucking phenomenal. But then gets eliminated by Gunther, which is pretty sad. We got number 22, and number 22 is Damian Priest. Priest comes in. Dominic and Priest and Finn gang up on Seth Rollins. Priest goes for a leg drop on Priest. Then after that, we get number 23, and number 23 is Montez Ford. Drew almost gets eliminated by Damian Priest, but then Dominic hands on the apron, and we got a chop by Priest on Ford. Ford almost gets eliminated by Finn Balor, but then Ford comes back. We get a couple of right hands by Ford. Priest then chokeslams Ford to elimination. And we get number 24. Number 24 is none other than Edge. Edge finally makes his return after all these months, ever since Extreme Rules, in which Rhea Ripley gave a concerto to Beth Phoenix. And one of the things that I've been really enjoying about this whole Royal Rumble match as a whole is that I love how they have multiple different storylines and different types of angles going on in one single match. That's what makes the Royal Rumble very special, and I absolutely loved it. So number 24 is Edge. He immediately spears Damian Priest, and then he spears Balor. And then Dominic comes in, and then he takes Edge to the middle rope, but then runs into a spear by Edge. After that, Priest gets eliminated by Edge, and then Finn Balor gets eliminated by Edge. Seth Rollins and Edge face off. Of course, that is a little nod to their feud that they had 2 years ago, back in late 2021. One of the best feuds, actually. I really enjoyed their feuds. So both Edge and Seth Rollins face off. Dominic comes in, but then Edge reverses. But then the Judgment Day eliminate Edge when Finn and Priest come out. Number 25, we got Austin Theory. But Edge fights back and chases Finn Balor. But Rhea Ripley, out of nowhere in the entranceway, attacks Edge from behind. But lo and behold, what happens? Beth Phoenix comes out. Yes, she's finally back after that concerto shot in Extreme Rules. She comes back and is behind Rhea Ripley. She manages to spear Rhea Ripley. And then after that, management with Adam Pearce comes in, and Theory goes for a neck breaker on Rollins, meanwhile back in the ring. Number 26. The next entrant is Omos. Drew and Sheamus try to go after Omos, but then Omos gains the advantage. Omos then goes for a side slam on Theory. Gunther comes in. We got a chop by Gunther, but then Omos chokeslams Gunther after that. Number 27 is Braun Strowman. Strowman eliminates... basically, both Omos and Strowman fight it out, but Strowman manages to eliminate Omos. Number 28, we got Ricochet. Ricochet and Strowman go for the double team because they have been in a tag team for the past couple of weeks on SmackDown. Drew and Sheamus try to eliminate Braun Strowman, but instead they take Strowman and hit the double 10 beats of the Bower Ring on Strowman, which looked amazing. Then Gunther, meanwhile, later tries to eliminate Drew McIntyre, but then Sheamus comes in with the boot. Gunther then eliminates both Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at the same time, taking both of them out of the equation. Number 29 is Logan Paul. Yes, Logan Paul is number 29, which of course, I constantly on this channel put over Logan Paul because this man is absolutely amazing at what he does in the ring. In the ring, this man is just amazing. Everybody gangs up on Logan Paul, which is hilarious, but then Logan escapes. Logan Paul hits the buckshot lariat. Shout out to Cowboy Shit, by the way, Hangman Page. He hits the buckshot lariat on Ricochet. Logan and Strowman fight it out, and then he hits the running power slam on Logan Paul. Ricochet goes for a running shooting star press. Then we get number 30, which was pretty obvious, of course. At this point, right after Logan Paul, because Logan Paul was number 29, everybody knew who was going to come out in number 30, that being the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes finally makes his return from his torn pec injury back at Hell in a Cell. Well, he didn't get injured at Hell in a Cell, but he wrestled with a torn pec at Hell in a Cell. He takes out everybody. He hits the Cody Cutter on Theory. Dominic then goes for the Three Amigos. After going for the Three Amigos, what does he do? Cody catches Dominic with the third Amigo and hits the Crossroads on Dominic. And then he manages to eliminate Dominic. Strowman then powerbombs Cody. Gunther then picks up Strowman. Then he hits the Last Symphony. After that, Theory sends Ricochet onto the apron, but then both Logan Paul and Ricochet. So this spot was probably one of my favorite spots of the entire night. Not only the match, the entire night. This spot was absolutely insane. And I haven't seen a spot like this. I don't even know if I haven't even seen a spot like this before, in my opinion. But Logan and Ricochet were on opposite portions of the ring apron. And what they wanted to do was basically hit a double crossbody. But it was a springboard crossbody. So both Logan and Ricochet were on both corners of the apron of the ring. And they do a springboard, and they both knock each other down with a double crossbody shot. Holy fucking shit, that looked amazing. That was probably the highlights of not only this match, but the highlight of, this whole show. That spot was fucking phenomenal. I loved every second of that. Again, Logan Paul, he only had 3 matches in WWE. Logan Paul is phenomenal in the ring. Nobody can deny that whatsoever. He is fantastic at what he does. So after the thing with Logan Paul and Ricochet, after that, Cody eliminates Strowman off the top with the help of Ricochet. Theory manages to eliminate Ricochet. We get a stomp by Theory, but then Theory gets eliminated. Gunther, Cody, and Seth are the final 3. Then we get a pedigree on Gunther by Seth Rollins, but then Cody himself hits the pedigree on Gunther. Cody and Seth fight it out. Actually, there was actually the final 4. Logan Paul actually was still a part of the match, by the way. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cody and Seth fight it out. We get a slap by Rollins, but then Seth counters the Crossroads. Cody then avoids the stomp, but then we get a super kick by Rollins. Logan Paul out of nowhere eliminates Seth Rollins from the match. I personally did not like this. Now, a lot of people were saying that this is leading to a WrestleMania match between both Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. I think the match would be great, but I don't know if I want to see it, to be quite honest with you, because honestly, I really wanted the final 2 to be Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. That is just me. But it is safe to say the final 2 that they had, that being Gunther and Cody Rhodes, made up for it. I thought the final 2 being Cody Rhodes and Gunther was fantastic. But Seth Rollins gets eliminated by Logan Paul. Cody goes for the Crossroads on Logan Paul. He manages to eliminate Logan Paul from the Rumble match. Cody and Gunther are the final 2. We get a couple of chops by Gunther on Cody. Cody then tries to fight back. Now, at this point, since Cody and Gunther are the final 2, usually you would expect this final 2 matchup, per se, to take at least maybe 5 minutes. No, man, this lasted for 10 minutes. Them being the final 2 lasted a while. These guys were going back and forth. We get a couple of chops by Gunther on Cody. After that, Cody tries to fight back, but then Gunther chops back. Gunther gets caught on the ropes, and Cody lands into a right hand by Gunther after trying to hit the disaster kick. Gunther at this point is in control. Cody goes for a couple of overhand chops on Gunther. He picks up Cody, but then he hits his own overhand chops. Cody almost gets eliminated, but then Cody goes to the top. Gunther manages to hit another overhand chop. Gunther goes to the top, and he hits a superplex on Cody. After that, Cody and Gunther fight it out. Cody goes for the Cody cutter, but then Gunther goes over the top rope. Gunther is on the apron. Gunther goes for the dragon screw. After that, Gunther is between the second rope, trapped. Then he runs and kicks Gunther in the balls, as Cody Rhodes stated in his last AEW promo, balls. Then later, he hits a running dropkick, or I should say Gunther hits a running shotgun dropkick on Cody. He follows up with a powerbomb. At this point, Cody's hands are on the apron, or on the ropes. Then we get a couple of chop exchanges by both Gunther and Cody. Gunther applies a sleeper, but then Cody almost eliminates him. Cody goes to the top, but then he lands into another chop. Gunther picks up Cody, but then Cody counters into the Crossroads, and he clotheslines Gunther to the outside, and Cody Rhodes wins the 2023 Royal Rumble match. What are my thoughts on Cody Rhodes winning this match overall. This was the right decision to make overall. I don't care what anybody says. This was definitely the right decision to make because I constantly stated this. Yes, Sami Zayn is very hot right now. He is super popular, probably the most over guy, not only in the WWE right now, but also in pro wrestling, period. But you really needed to give this win to Cody Rhodes because if you really think about it, you're kind of doing Cody Rhodes a disservice, in my opinion, if you don't give the Royal Rumble to him. I don't know if that's personal bias towards Cody Rhodes. I do not know. But again, if you really think about it, in my opinion, Cody Rhodes needed to win this Royal Rumble match because of the fact that if he did not win the Royal match, and it was very smart that they did not add Sami Zayn in this match, because if they added Sami Zayn in this match, WWE would have probably ran themselves into a very bad problem because then the crowd would lean directly towards Sami Zayn and not Cody Rhodes. And that would have been a big issue. But thankfully that wasn't the case, so they were very smart by not adding Sami Zayn in this match. They saved all the Sami Zayn shit towards the main event. And it was also very smart for them to add the Men's Royal Rumble as the opening match of the show. But the reason why I think Cody Rhodes should win the Royal Rumble, and I thought that was the right decision to make, was because of the fact that if he did not win the match, everything that Cody Rhodes has stated ever since the first promo on the night after WrestleMania, on the Raw after WrestleMania, saying that, oh, I'm going for the WWE Championship because I'm going to be bringing the title that my family has never won, and I can give it to my dad, saying, hey, here, I won this title for you. Everything that he has stated would have been rendered absolutely useless. It would have been absolutely useless, everything that he has stated. So that's what people really need to understand. And again, I constantly state this. There is a reason why WWE booked Montreal for the Elimination Chamber. That's all I'm going to say on that scenario. I will continue on with that topic later on in this review. But Cody Rhodes is your 2023 Royal Rumble winner. But another thing I actually want to add on before I move on with this review is I will say this, though. Even if I'm happy that Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble, my only question and my only concern regarding this decision, even if I think it's the right decision, is how are they going to incorporate Cody in this whole Bloodline situation? Because keep in mind, WrestleMania is right in the beginning of April. I believe it's April 1st and April 2nd. How are they going to build towards Cody and have people legitimately care for Cody? Because a lot of people, I personally do not believe that this will happen, but a lot of people are believing that the fans are going to end up turning on Cody Rhodes when he wins the WWE Championship. I personally do not think that will happen. I don't think that will happen because that will literally prove that not only AEW fans are fickle, but WWE fans are fickle as well. I mean, they're fickle. Any wrestling fan, including myself, let's be honest, we're all fickle at the end of the day, but I was never, and when Cody Rhodes was in his last few months in AEW, I never, was one of those people that booed Cody at all. Now, I laughed when Cody got booed out of the building, but I didn't really understand why the crowd just had this animosity against Cody, in my opinion. So that is personally me. But again, it's going to be very interesting what WWE does leading up to WrestleMania, because when it comes to the Bloodline, it looks like their hands are full. And creative has a lot of thinking to do regarding the whole Sami Zayn stuff that is going on, because we only have 3 weeks until Elimination Chamber in Montreal. And that pay-per-view is going to be absolutely fantastic for the crowd that they're going to be in front of. And the match that I believe will be in the main event, is going to be Sami versus Roman. That's what I believe is going to be happening at Elimination Chamber. But again, Cody Rhodes winning the WWE Championship, and dethroning Roman Reigns is definitely the right call to make. Cody Rhodes is your 2023 Royal Rumble winner. All right. Fast forward to our next match of the evening. We have the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Yes, the Pitch Black match. Before I get on with the Pitch Black match, let me drink a sip of my water, because I want to be a little bit entertaining on this show. Because at the end of the day, you have to be entertaining to be successful. And also, my voice is like absolutely shot, by the way, for talking for right now. I'm looking at OBS, 44 minutes. 44 minutes. Holy shit. My voice is like shot right now. Holy crap. That is absolutely crazy. But, yeah, man. We got the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Before I get on with the match, of course, please like and subscribe to the WrestleHavoc Podcast right here on YouTube, in which we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content. And, as the frickin' referee would say, ring, ring, ring that damn bell for more notifications. This match was relatively short. It was a very interesting match, to say the least. Me personally, what are my thoughts on this whole Pitch Black match? I do not know if I like it, and I don't know if I don't like it. I am literally in the middle when it comes to this particular match. There was a lot of people that did not understand the point of this match, and honestly, I do not blame you. There was other people that were like, this match is pretty creative and unique, and I even tweeted out, look, it's a creative concept, it's something new, and it's something unique. You may not like it, but at the same time, some other people may like it. This Pitch Black match, I honestly do not know what to think about, though. I feel like I kind of have like mixed bags on it. Realistically, the most interesting thing that happened during this whole match was not even the match. It was basically the entrances, or the main entrance, that being Bray Wyatt's entrance. Bray Wyatt's entrance was absolutely fucking fantastic, in my opinion. It was really, really good. But let's get on with the match. So what they did here was they basically had some black lighting, that being like purple lighting. They wrapped around these, they covered the ropes and they glowed up the ropes. They had the Mountain Dew logo in the center, and on the barricades it stated Mountain Dew Pitch Black. And everywhere it showed the Bray Wyatt symbol all across. So the match starts. Bray has some really creepy ring attire. His face paint is a glow-in-the-dark face paint. That also, LA Knight's ring attire is also glow-in-the-dark. Everything is glow-in-the-dark at this point in this match. Bray Wyatt has really good face paint, resembling the Fiend. But the match starts. Bray goes after LA Knight. Bray then throws LA Knight across the ring. He takes LA Knight to the top, and then he gets sent across to the ring. On the outside, LA Knight reverses and sends Bray through the steps. After that, Bray sends LA Knight over the barricade, and he exposes the announce table. At this point, the steps are set up as well. Bray then tries to suplex LA Knight, but then LA Knight escapes. After that, LA Knight clotheslines Bray through the table. Bray then throws a monitor in the ring, but then LA Knight fights off Wyatt in the ring, but then Wyatt tries to chokeslam him. But then LA Knight escapes. LA Knight then gets sent to the outside, but then Bray gets hit with a kendo stick. He goes to the top, and then he drops down and hits the kendo stick, but then Bray catches him and hits the Sister Abigail. We get a cover, and Bray Wyatt wins the match. After the match, it looks like Bray has different face paint on, so that's pretty cool. Bray has a kendo stick once again. Bray then proceeds to chase LA Knight, and then Bray applies the mandible claw. But then what happens is, there was like this big-ass platform, and all of a sudden you had Uncle Howdy show up. And what happens is Uncle Howdy literally is up there, standing up, and just dead-ass falls down. Like, literally just drops himself down. And there was a lot of fans that recorded this being live at the Alamo-Dome. Now, I wasn't live at the Alamo-Dome, I'm saying, but like there was a lot of fans at the Alamo-Dome that were recording fan cam shots of this, and it looked like Uncle Howdy completely missed LA Knight. Completely missed the man. And then you had this crazy ass pyro go off, and that match concluded. What were my thoughts on the Pitch Black match? I like Bray Wyatt and the presentation of Bray Wyatt. I think the presentation of Bray Wyatt was phenomenal, from his entrance to his ring attire to everything. I honestly do not know what to say of this match. I don't know if I like it. I don't even know if I don't like it. I'm literally like contemplating what I think about it because I have no idea what the fuck I saw. It's a weird concept. I like the fact that they're trying to do something new, but at the same time, I just felt like, I mean, for the amount of time that these guys were given, they weren't really given the amount of time that a lot of fans expected them to get. So it was very weird when I was watching this match. And honestly, would I like to see this match again? I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. No, I don't want to see this match again. I appreciate them trying to experiment new things because that's when you try to be fresh. But sometimes those things don't just work. And it looks like I'm actually leading towards not liking this match because I'm a big Bray Wyatt guy. But this match, something about this match, I don't know why. It's just something felt off about it. Something really just felt off about it. And that's all I'm going to say about this Pitch Black match. We get the attendance record for the Royal Rumble. And the attendance record for the Alamo Dome is 51,336. We are literally almost an hour through this whole review. We're 50 minutes into this whole review. Holy shit. Yeah, man, we got Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. This match was probably my least anticipated match on the entire Royal Rumble card. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that nothing really special happened on this match, and this match felt very rushed, in my opinion. I genuinely felt like this match was just rushing the entire time. Like, honestly, the entire time. And I just felt like, realistically, what was the point of this whole match? Not only that, this match could have easily been on a random episode of Monday Night Raw. To be quite honest with you, this match could have easily been on a Monday Night Raw. There was realistically no point in this match whatsoever. But I'm going to go through this match quickly, considering we really didn't get anything. Of course, we had a video package of Uncle Howdy shown to Alexa Bliss after the match was over because Alexa Bliss did lose the match, which was probably the most predictable outcome of this whole situation. But we really didn't get any reveals whatsoever, so that was pretty disappointing on both the Pitch Black match and this match as well. But as I've stated before, this match felt a little sloppy, this match felt a little rushed, and if you did not like this match, I honestly cannot blame you. This match wasn't really that good at all. I was not really that big of a fan of this match. All right, both fight it out as soon as the bell rings. Bianca is in control. Bianca is on the second rope and hits repeated rights on Bliss. She drops Bianca down and hits a dropkick. Alexa is in control. We get a kick to the back of Alexa, and then she proceeds to pull the hair of Bianca. Bliss then goes for the double knees onto the back of Bianca. We get a cover and a kick out. We get a side headlock by Bliss, but then Bianca escapes. Alexa then tries to roll her up, but then Bianca does not let her. Alexa, we get a cover by her and a near fall. Alexa then continues with the side headlock on Bianca Belair. Bianca then sends Alexa to the corner, but then Alexa is on the second rope. She grabs once again the hair of Bianca Belair and applies a choke in the corner. Bianca then counters and suplexes Alexa down to the mat. We get a kick by Bianca, and she fights back on Alexa. Bianca goes for a hip toss. Then she hits a drop kick. At this point, Bianca is in the corner and goes for repeated rights on the second rope. Bianca lands on her feet from a moonsault. Then Bianca goes back to the top, and she applies a choke on Alexa. And then she kicks Alexa, landing Bliss face first down to the mat. We get a cartwheel moonsault attempted by Bianca, but then Bliss gets the knees up after that. Bianca then drives Alexa face first to the mat, but then Bianca succeeds with the second cartwheel moonsault attempt. We get a cover by Bianca Belair and a near fall. Bianca then picks up Alexa, but then Alexa escapes. Bliss then goes for a couple of right hands followed by a dropkick, but then Bianca later counters. She tries to get her up, but then Alexa escapes. Bliss goes for the DDT, and then we get a cover and a near fall. We get a couple of kicks by Alexa Bliss. At this point, Alexa is in control over Bianca at this point. She manages to hit a senton on Bianca. We get a cover and a near fall, but then Bianca blocks Alexa. She tries to hair whip Alexa, but then Alexa counters for the Sister Abigail attempt. But Bianca then counters back and hits the KOD. And we get a cover, and Bianca Belair retains the Raw Women's Championship. Overall thoughts on this match. Again, felt rushed, felt a little sloppy. Nothing special happened on the match. After the match, we see some supernatural shit happening in the match, showing Uncle Howdy. It shows a playground. We didn't really get a lot of answers regarding this whole Uncle Howdy situation when it came to the Pitch Black match and this match as well. So realistically, if you think about it, what was the point? And I'm starting to get a little bit tired of these constant teases. I was a little lenient on it, but like now I'm just like, okay, whatever. You know, I expected something at the Royal Rumble, but we're not really getting anything at the Royal Rumble. So honestly, what is the point of this whole thing? So that was that match. We have the Women's Royal Rumble match. This match, I was not really the biggest fan of the Women's Royal Rumble, to be quite honest with you. This year's Women's Royal Rumble, you know, if you really think about it, the majority of the beginning of the whole match felt very boring to me. The surprise entrants were not really, you know, surprise entrants to me. You know, Michelle McCool came out from the crowd. That looked fun. The number 30 entrant was a terrible decision, and it botched really bad in some funny fashion. The reaction on Twitter for Nia Jax was the funniest shit that I have ever seen in my entire life. But I will say, even if, you know, the majority of the Women's Royal Rumble match was pretty disappointing, the right person won. And also, I have to give WWE props. The finish of that Women's Royal Rumble match was absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. It was definitely fantastic. But we're going to get through the Women's Royal Rumble. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as the men's one did, because the men's one took very, very long. I mean, there's 30 women in this whole match, man. I'm going to have to name off everybody, and thankfully I have them all right here on my notes. All right, let's get through with the Women's Royal Rumble. The number one entrant in this match is Mommy herself, Rhea Ripley. Great decision on WWE's end, by the way. And number two is Liv Morgan. Yes, Liv Morgan is the number two entrant in the Royal Rumble, and that means Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan were going to start the match, or are going to start the match, I should say. The match starts. Both women start brawling. Rhea drives Liv across the ring. Liv then comes back, but then Rhea hits a boot on Liv Morgan. She picks up Liv Morgan, but then Liv escapes. She hits a backbreaker, followed by a running knee by Liv Morgan. She goes to the second rope. And after that, we get the number three entrant. And the number three entrant was a generic entrant that nobody cared about, with all due respect. The next entrant was Dana Brooke. I'm snoring. Dana goes to the top. She hits a double dropkick on Liv and Rhea. Rhea then gets sent to the post shoulder first. Dana Brooke then tries to superplex Liv and actually manages to pull it off. Number four, we get Emma. Emma's the number four entrant. Emma goes for the neckbreaker on Rhea Ripley, follows up with a Russian leg sweep on Rhea Ripley. If there's one thing I will say about Rhea Ripley is I'm happy that she won the match, but there is one thing that we have to say about her is like Rhea Ripley has been getting absolutely killed throughout the entirety of this whole fucking match. Number five, we get Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is number five. She drops down on Emma. We get a kick by Shayna. Shayna goes for a backbreaker on Dana Brooke. Number six, Bayley from Damage Control is next. Liv immediately hits the Oblivion on Bayley and almost gets eliminated, but Bayley survives. Number seven, we get Hit Row's B-Fab. B-Fab takes out everybody, and it looks like she was on a roll. But honestly, did you expect B-Fab to win? No, B-Fab was not going to win, of course. We get a headbutt by Rhea. Rhea then eliminates B-Fab. And this was kind of like, I don't want to say a common occurrence in the match because it happened twice. But like you would have entrants that like, you know, you had wrestlers just immediately come in and then it looked like they were on a roll, but then immediately get eliminated. That is what exactly happened with B-Fab. And it happened with Chelsea Green, who I'll talk about later on. But B-Fab gets eliminated by Rhea Ripley. At this point, Rhea Ripley looks like she's bleeding all over her face. Number 8 is NXT's, and I believe the current NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. She is phenomenal. If y'all haven't seen Roxanne Perez wrestling, like, this woman is fantastic, and she's going to do very, very good things in WWE in the future. She's fantastic. She's an amazing wrestler. We get a crossbody by Roxanne, and Roxanne definitely had a good showing in this match as well. Roxanne spins Rhea around. She goes for the, Rey Mysterio type maneuvers. Every woman then tries to gang up and eliminate Bayley, but then we get number 9, that being Dakota Kai from Damage Control. So now Bayley has some backup. We get a backbreaker on Perez by Dakota. Number 10 is Io Sky. Perez and Emma try to eliminate Bayley, and we get a springboard dropkick by Io, followed by a dropkick on Shayna. Emma then hangs on from the apron, and then Dana Brooke then gets eliminated by Damage Control. Emma then lands on the apron once again, but then Dakota hits the boot, eliminating Emma from the match. Roxanne then comes in. Roxanne then gets eliminated by Damage Control, and Damage Control is a common occurrence throughout the entirety, or I should say the rest of this match, because of the fact that Damage Control was basically dominating the whole thing. Number 11, we get Natalya. Shayna goes immediately after Natalya. Damage Control then gang up on Rhea. Number 12 is Candice LeRae. Natalya and Shayna Baszler face off once again. Natalya goes for the release German suplex, but then Natalya almost eliminates Shayna Baszler. Shayna then applies the Karabuta clutch, but then Damage Control come in and eliminate both Shayna Baszler and Natalya from the match. Number 13 is NXT's Zoe Stark. After that, she goes after everyone. And she actually lasted a pretty decent amount of time in the match. She hits the half and half on Io Shirai. She works on Rhea Ripley, and she tries to eliminate Rhea, but then Rhea fights back. Number 14 is Xia Li. We get a couple of spinning kicks by Xia Li, and then Damage Control comes in and gang up on her. Again, a common occurrence. Dakota and Candice then take... I completely forgot who they took on the outside, but then Candice LeRae manages to get eliminated at the end of the day. Number 15 is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, the man, Becky Lynch, is the number 15th entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble. She fights off Damage Control. She goes back in the ring, goes after Bayley, and then Bayley gets sent through the second rope. Bayley goes on the apron, and then on the outside, Damage Control go after everybody in their side. They go after Becky, and then they send Becky to the barricade. Now, keep in mind, you have to win this match by sending your opponent over the top rope. When they went to the outside, they went through the rope, so they were not eliminated. Then Io and Dakota send Becky across the announce table. We get number 16. That's Tegan Nox. Later on, Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox go for the double team attempt. Tegan Nox goes for the all-famous Shining Wizard after that. Number 17, Asuka makes her long-awaited return, and she got a new look. And it's her old look from, I believe it was Stardom, from back when she was wrestling in Japan. And let me tell you, the pop that Asuka got, holy fucking shit, she was going fucking crazy. So Asuka's out. She takes out everybody. We got a German suplex on Zoe Stark. We get a spinning kick on Bayley. And definitely, another thing that I want to mention is that Asuka was after Asuka came out, she was definitely a favorite in the match. Tegan Nox gets eliminated by Asuka. Number 18, Piper Niven comes out. And yes, she is no longer called Dewdrop. They finally got her original name back, Piper Niven, which is absolutely great to see. Whoever came up with the name of Dewdrop is completely brain dead, in my opinion. What a stupid name that was. So thank Christ that she got her name back. She is now Piper Niven once again. She takes down Xia Li. She hits a senton. She slams Bayley, and then she slams Liv on Bayley. Then they go for a double splash on both. Number 19, Tamina. Piper and Tamina face off. Becky takes out both Dakota and Io. Number 20, Chelsea Green. There was a lot of rumors swirling about Chelsea Green, if she's coming back to the WWE or not. Chelsea Green, of course, that being Matt Cardona's wife, comes out. And it was very weird. I thought Matt Cardona was actually going to be in the Men's Royal Rumble, but he wasn't. But it's great to see Chelsea Green in this match. But what sucked is that she immediately got eliminated as soon as she entered the match. So realistically, you guys basically wasted a whole pick just to eliminate that person. I hate when they do shit like that. After that, Bayley eliminates Becky, but then Liv eliminates Bayley. Damage Control and Becky Lynch brawl across the Alamo Dome at this point. So I believe Damage Control at this point is completely out of the equation. Number 21, we get Zelina Vega. Zelina goes for the code red, but then Piper picks up Zelina, but escapes. Zaya and Selena are on the apron. Xia Li then gets eliminated. Number 22, we get Raquel Rodriguez. She hits a fallaway slam on Zoe Starks. Then number 23, we got Mia Yim, a.k.a. Mitchin Mia Yim. That's what they name her now. We got a tornado DDT by Mia Yim on Zoe Starks, and then she does the same thing on Rhea Ripley. Number 24, we got Lacey Evans, Do Not Care. Tamina almost eliminates Lacey Evans, but then Lacey sweeps Zoe. She hits the elbow on Zoe Starks. Number 25, we got Michelle McCool, who they showed in the camera earlier on, but Michelle McCool actually comes out from the crowd and enters herself in the match. That was pretty entertaining to see. And actually, Michelle McCool actually lasted a pretty decent amount of time in the match, which I was not really mad about. She comes out from the front row. She hits a belly-to-belly suplex, goes for a face breaker on Zelina Vega. McCool then eliminates Tamina. Rhea then fights off Michelle McCool. Number 26, Dexter Loomis's girlfriend, Indy Hartwell. Oh, Dexter. She comes out. She boots everybody in sight. She hits a spine buster on Zoe Stark. After that, Zoe gets eliminated. Asuka then fights off Sonya Deville. After that, Asuka goes for repeated kicks. Both knock each other down with high kicks. Lacey then applies the Cobra Clutch on Zelina onto the top rope. After that, I completely forgot. Number 27 was Sonya Deville. I was like, wait, why did I read Sonya Deville? She didn't come out. Oh, wait, she did. I could just completely missed off Sonya Deville. But Zelina Vega ends up getting eliminated. Number 28, Shotzi, or as I like to call her, as her original name, Shotzi Blackheart. She almost gets eliminated, but then Indy Hartwell actually manages to get eliminated. Number 29, we get Nikki Cross. And let me tell you, Nikki Cross, she ran like Sonic the Hedgehog in the ring. She was running in the ring. It was pretty fun to see. But, of course, it is the crazy gimmick that Nikki Cross has. So much better than Nikki ASH, in my opinion. We get a crossbody by Shotzi Blackheart. She runs through everybody. She goes crazy. And the number 30 entrant was terrible, but at the same time hilarious. So the story about this is WWE completely, and this was by accident, but they completely botched the number 30 entrant. Not only because of the fact that it was Nia Jax, but because of the fact that literally the buzzard went off mad early. And they were just scrambling all over the place like, oh, shit. The buzzer didn't even go off. No, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. The buzzer didn't even go off. Nia Jax's music just immediately played out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden they showed the countdown just going down quickly, and then you had the buzzer finally go off as soon as she came out. So the number 30 entrant was Nia Jax. Personally, I did not like that decision. What a waste, in my opinion, of a number 30 pick. No disrespect personally towards Nia Jax. I was never really the biggest Nia Jax fan. And also, the reaction on social media was the funniest reaction I have ever seen. It was the funniest shit that I've ever seen, man. But everybody gangs up on Nia Jax. Nia and Raquel face off. Rhea tries to pick her up, but then Nia escapes. After that, Rhea hits the Riptide. Nia gets eliminated, and she throws on a tirade. After that, Raquel eliminates Lacey Evans. Good riddance. After that, we get an armbar by Asuka on Raquel Rodriguez. Sonya and Asuka are on the apron. Both exchange shots. And then we get a kick by Asuka, eliminating Sonya Deville. Michelle McCool then gets eliminated by Rhea Ripley. After that, we get Shotzi almost gets eliminated once again, but then Mia Yim manages to eliminate Shotzi. After that, we're down to 6 wrestlers. Piper Niven and Raquel fight it out. We get a cannonball into the corner by Piper Niven. Piper then goes to the top, but then Raquel comes in. Raquel then boots Piper and eliminates her. Rhea almost eliminates Raquel and manages actually to eliminate her. Nikki and Asuka are on the apron, but then Nikki takes Asuka, but then Liv eliminates Nikki Cross. At this point, Liv Morgan, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley are the final 3 women in the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match. Liv takes Rhea to the apron, but then both are on the apron. Rhea grabs Asuka from the top from a hip attack attempt. At this point, all 3 women are on the apron. Now, this was a very... Say what you want about the Women's Royal Rumble. I wasn't really that big of a fan of this match to begin with.
But I will say, the finish of this Women's Royal Rumble match was fantastically done. Brilliant on WWE's end. Whoever came up with this finish, I salute to you, literally. So the final three, right? All three women are on the apron. So what happens is Rhea grabs Asuka from a hip attack attempt. Asuka, you know how she usually has the mist. She spits the mist, but she intended to go on Rhea, but instead hits Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan is actually blinded by the mist that Asuka spit on her. Rhea then eliminates Asuka. After that, Liv takes out Rhea. And Rhea almost gets both of her feet on the floor, but holds on to both ropes. But this was so brilliant. I loved what they did here. So what they did here was, since Rhea Ripley was having both of her hands held onto the rope and almost both of her feet hitting the floor, what they did was they had Rhea literally pull herself up and grab Liv Morgan from her legs and pull a head scissor spot, landing Liv Morgan on the floor. And that was the final elimination, which led to Rhea Ripley winning the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble. That finish right there. That finish right there was total brilliance on WWE's end. Total brilliance on their end. It was absolutely fantastic on what they did. And to say the least, the right woman won. I say that because, let's be honest, who else was there to win the Women's Royal Rumble match? Now, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, who is Rhea Ripley going to be facing at WrestleMania? Everybody is saying Charlotte Flair. Why? She shouldn't be facing Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania at all. Number one is because of the fact that Rhea Ripley is on Raw, not SmackDown, so it makes no sense at all. I don't know why people are saying that. The person that she should be going after and taking that title away from is Bianca Belair. I say Bianca Belair because of the fact that Bianca Belair has held that title for a long-ass time at this point. But not only that, I think right now it is Rhea Ripley's time, because Rhea Ripley, the work that she has been doing for these past couple months, ever since she joined Judgment Day, has been totally, just absolutely phenomenal. I stated this constantly. One of the best things that Triple H has done ever since taking over creative was Judgment Day. Judgment Day went from being total jokes to be taken absolutely seriously. And one of those components was Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was one of those components, and Rhea Ripley absolutely deserves the spot that she's going to be getting at WrestleMania. So Rhea Ripley should be facing Bianca Belair at WrestleMania and should be taking that title away from Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. That is that. Overall thoughts, wasn't really that big of a fan of the Women's Royal Rumble, to be quite honest with you. The beginning portions of the match, from the beginning to almost the later portions of the match, was kind of boring to me. I wasn't really that invested in what I was watching. I really wanted Rhea Ripley to win, and lo and behold, that actually happened. But near the end, the match definitely got better, and that finish that they did was just pure brilliance on WWE's end. Whoever came up with that in creative, literally give that person a raise, because that was just a fantastic finish to end off the Women's Royal Rumble match. So Rhea Ripley is your 2023 Women's Royal Rumble winner. All right. We got Hardy. Yes, the band Hardy is performing the song Sold Out. Of course, that is the main theme of the Royal Rumble match. You guys want to know my thoughts on this performance? Look, I love the Royal Rumble theme song. That is the type of music I want to listen to when it comes to WWE pay-per-views, period. That is the type of song that needs to be on the weekly shows, in my opinion. I don't like this garbage hip-hop that is on Raw and SmackDown. I honestly don't. But even if I do like the Royal Rumble theme song, I have to be brutally honest with you guys. Hardy's performance at the Royal Rumble, and let me drink water real quick to digest what I saw. Hardy's performance was dog shit. It was dog shit.
It was garbage. He sounded absolutely fucking terrible. That's all I'm going to say. We got the main event of the evening, the match that everybody has been anticipating about. And that match is, of course, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. I feel like I'm lying to you guys if I'm telling you guys that I wasn't excited for this match. I would have felt like I would be lying to you guys if I said that. I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. And I talked about this briefly at the top of this review. If you guys made it to this portion of review, thank you guys. But I talked about this at the top of this review. This whole storyline involving SAMI ZAYN and the Bloodline was done to perfection. Just absolutely done to perfection. And this pay-per-view, though it has a lot of faults and a lot of, just duds on this show, nobody's going to remember those mistakes. All everybody is going to be remembering is what transpired in that ending. That ending that we saw at the Royal Rumble, where the Bloodline, or you should say SAMI ZAYN, hit Roman with the chair, which led to the dismantling and the dismembering of SAMI ZAYN. People will be talking about that for years to come. People will be talking about that moment for years to come. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because after that ending, it showed everybody watching this whole thing that this storyline absolutely paid off. But we'll talk about that ending after I talk about this match, because we cannot forget about the match. We'll get to that amazing ending, but we got to talk about the match first. First off, SAMI ZAYN comes out with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman because, as stated in the pre-show, Roman Reigns tells SAMI ZAYN that he's going to come with him because it's Sami's night. It's SAMI ZAYN's night. So Roman Reigns takes a long-ass entrance to the ring, and I mean a long-ass entrance. We get a bunch of Sami Uso chants, but let's start off with the match. So the match starts. Both lock up. KO immediately goes for the senton. We get a cannonball into the corner on Reigns by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens goes after Roman on the outside. But then after that, both fight it out on the outside. Reigns then gets sent to the barricade. We get a senton on the outside by Kevin Owens. Roman once again gets taken to the outside. After that, we get a senton on the outside by KO. Roman then gets taken to the outside, and then Roman sends KO into the corner. Roman goes for somewhat of a rock bottom move. Then we get a cover and a near fall. At this point, Roman is in control in the match. What happens after that? We get a cover by Roman and a near fall. Roman then goes for the headlock. We get an uppercut by Roman. We get a chop by Kevin Owens. Roman then goes for repeated clotheslines in the corner. We get a couple of right hands by KO. At this point, both men exchange shots. We get a boot by Roman Reigns. KO goes for the clothesline. KO then takes him to the outside. KO then hits a frog splash on the outside. KO then goes to the top, and then he hits a frog splash once again in the ring. We get a cover and a near fall. We get a super kick blocked by Roman Reigns. At this point, Roman counters the super kick attempt with a sit-out powerbomb. We get a cover and a near fall. KO then counters the Superman punch and hits a German suplex. He runs into a Superman punch after all. We get a cover and a near fall once again. Roman then sets up the spear and lands onto the ring post. We get a super kick by KO. He hits the Swanton bomb, and we get a cover and a near fall. KO then goes to the top, but then Roman comes in. Reigns manages, he gets taken down. After that, we get so it looked like KO, the move that he has been doing for the past couple of months was he goes to the top and he switches positions
in the corner and does a springboard moonsault off the top. He actually botched that move in this match, but this was actually done brilliantly. So in order to protect Kevin Owens in the match, I believe Roman Reigns kind of moved himself into the corner to protect Kevin Owens because, of course, the mat is hard. So he kind of protected Kevin Owens in that sense. But he botched that move, but then Kevin Owens manages to hit the senton instead. We get a moonsault by Kevin Owens, but he misses once again. Reigns then hits the spear. We get a cover and a near fall. Kevin Owens then tries to hit the stunner, but then the referee gets taken down. We get a pump-up powerbomb by Kevin Owens. At this point, we get a cover, but there's no referee because of the fact that the referee got taken down. So Roman goes instead, very heel tactic. He goes for the low blow. Roman tells him to get a chair. Sami then gets the chair. My apologies. Roman then tells him to get the chair, just yelling at Sami Zayn, get the chair. And Sami gets the chair. And Sami's questioning Roman Reigns because earlier on, Roman said to not do anything. But Sami gets the chair anyway because he has to obey orders for his tribal chief. So after that, Roman gets the chair. KO then goes for the stunner, and we get a cover and a close near fall. At this point, Sami Zayn is in disbelief. So Sami Zayn is in disbelief. Roman goes for the Superman punch, countering the pump-up powerbomb. We get a spear by Kevin Owens, and we get a cover and a near fall. KO then goes to the outside. Roman then spears Kevin Owens through the barricade onto the Timekeeper's area. He takes KO back in the ring, but then KO falls out of the ring. Roman then drives KO onto the steel steps. He drives Kevin Owens on the back of his head and his back onto the steel steps twice. And he does it again, of course. Roman Reigns comes back into the ring. After that, Roman Reigns spears him. We get a cover. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns retains the title. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was not, I repeat, was not the icing of the cake. Of course, I'm going to be discussing this fantastic, this whole amazing, pure perfection ending that happened on this pay-per-view last night. So the whole bloodline is in the ring. Jay has that big-ass rose necklace, and he wants to give it to Sami Zayn because he thinks Sami Zayn got the job done. It's time for finally to Roman to actually acknowledge this man. But Roman is like, hold up for 1 minute. What happens after that? He tells the Usos to go after Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens is a mess. Jimmy, or I should say the Usos, beat the shit out of Kevin Owens. Jimmy goes after Kevin Owens. Then Jay goes after Kevin Owens. Both Usos beat down Kevin Owens. They proceed to hit the 1D after that. They then drag Kevin Owens into the corner. They drag him into the corner and they continue just to beat the shit out of this guy. And we get a bunch of Sami chants from the crowd. The Usos take the chair and put it in the head of Kevin Owens. Solo goes for the running hip attack in the corner with the chair wrapped around Kevin Owens' head. So after that hip attack spot, you had Roman asking Paul Heyman, who is on the apron, the wise man. He asks Paul Heyman for a set of handcuffs. But lo and behold, Paul Heyman does not only have one handcuff, he has two. And Roman gets both of those handcuffs. He gives one to Jay, and he gives one to Jimmy. He gives both of them the handcuffs, and the Usos handcuff Kevin Owens on the top rope, and it looks like Kevin Owens is like crucified on that shit. And what happens after that is the Usos go for repeated super kicks. And I mean repeated super kicks. Like they took turns super kicking Kevin Owens. They took turns super kicking Kevin Owens constantly. Just beating the shit out of this man, this poor man. Roman Reigns
has the chair. And it looked like he was about to hit Kevin Owens with the chair, Roman Reigns himself. But what happens after that? Roman just screams at Kevin Owens before he's about to hit him that Sami is now his family. You disrespect Roman, you disrespect Sami Uso. That's what you hear not Sami Zayn. That's what you hear Roman Reigns saying. And then what happens after that is as soon as Roman Reigns is about to hit Sami Zayn with the chair, or not Sami Zayn with the chair, Kevin Owens with the chair. I am so invested in this whole shit that I'm completely like mashing up names. That's how good this shit is. As soon as he's about to hit Kevin Owens with the chair, Sami Zayn blocks Roman and tells him, hey, you do not need to do this. Very calmly, Sami Zayn tells Roman, you do not need to do this. You are better than this. You're better than this. You're the tribal chief. You're the universal champion. This is beneath you. You don't need to do this. It's enough. He tells Roman constantly that he is better than this. And Roman has just this weird, he doesn't have this happy look on his face, but it looks like he is calming down. But he still has the chair on his hand. Roman Reigns kind of just looks down. He looks down. And he gets his arm with the chair up, upside down, and offers the chair to Sami Zayn. And Sami has just this distraught look on his face. He's like, this is like knowing like, oh shit, this is my test right now. This is my former best friend. So Roman offers Sami the chair. And he tells Sami, I shouldn't do it. You should do it. After that, Paul Heyman, the wise man, is in the background saying it's his moment. It's Sami's moment. Roman hands him the chair, telling Sami that they have gone too far, that he is theirs now. He is a part of this family. Then after that, he tells Sami that Kevin Owens dragged him down since day one, and he calls him an anchor. He cares about him, and he loves Sami. In this ring, when he is with the Bloodline, they own this ring. Otherwise, go do some jackass shit. That is exactly the words that Roman Reigns tells Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has the chair in his hands. And Sami sets up hitting Kevin Owens with the chair, but it's very tough for this fucking man to hit Kevin Owens with the chair because of the fact that Kevin Owens is Sami Zayn's former best friend. And it's going to hurt Sami Zayn like, shit, I'm going to hit my best friend, man. You know, this is not what I intended. And what happens after that is Roman just constantly yelling for Sami to just pull the trigger. At this point, Sami is crying. And this is where shit gets intense. Sami is crying. And Roman sees this. And he asks him, are you crying? And then Paul Heyman on the apron says, there's no crying in the Bloodline. And then you have Roman. Roman just sees this and just goes in the fucking face of Sami Zayn. Just going after this man, saying, you know, he shoves the face of Sami, constantly going in his face, and asks him, what's wrong with you? Just screaming at him, yelling at him, asks him, you think this is a game? And for a second, Sami and Roman, now for a brief second, when Roman was getting like close to the head of Sami Zayn, it looked like in a way they were kind of butting heads, but that didn't happen. Sami just kind of like backed off, and he's like, okay, you're right, I'll do this, blah, blah, blah. And then Roman says that this is his whole life. And then Roman turns around and he goes towards Sami Zayn and constantly just screams his whole spiel on Kevin Owens. And then Sami grabs the chair and he starts swinging the chair and he leans towards Roman Reigns and hits the fucking chair on Roman Reigns. And let me tell you guys, the pop at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, that when Sami hit that chair on Roman, the fucking pop in the Alamo Dome was probably one of the loudest, if not the loudest pop that I have ever seen in a wrestling show, let alone WWE. Holy shit, the pop was crazy. That was probably one of the best pops that I have ever seen. The pop was insane. And then what happens after that? Jay, who is now on good graces with Sami Zayn, and Jimmy were distraught. They were upset. They were shocked, especially Jay, because keep in mind, at the beginning of this story, Jay despised the fact that Sami inserted himself into this family. But then fast forward to November at Survivor Series, in the War Games match, Sami Zayn showed his allegiance towards the Bloodline, and then all of a sudden, right after War Games, Jay and Sami were almost like best friends, almost like brothers. If anything, Sami was like a second brother, if not the first brother over Jimmy. That's how close these guys were in storyline. That's how good this shit got. But what happened after that, Sami, Jay and Jimmy were just so upset. Jay more sad than upset, but he was upset. Jimmy, throughout this whole storyline, realistically, if you think about it, Jimmy was kind of the calm guy. Jay was more of the hothead. But in this moment, Jimmy was so pissed off. He turned toward Jay and screamed at him, "He's your brother? No, I'm your brother." And immediately super kicks the shit out of Sami Zayn. He super kicks this man, and he just goes after Sami Zayn, just beats the shit out of him. And then Solo Sikoa comes in, pushes Jimmy away, and then continues just Solo himself, beating the crap out of this man, this poor man. After that, Roman gets up. At first, after Roman got hit with the chair, he's just sitting there just shocked, almost like he was sad, even though Roman is the heel in this whole scenario. Roman just gets up and screams. He literally screams, "Kill him." He yells at both Jimmy and Solo to kill Sami Zayn. That's how intense this shit got. Solo and Jimmy just continue to beat the hell out of Sami while Roman is screaming. And while they're beating the shit out of him, Roman is just screaming, "I gave you the world. I gave you my life. I gave you everything. And this is how you repay me." It almost looked like there was got to be a tear shedding out of Roman, but Roman was fucking pissed. And then Jay, meanwhile, while all this crazy shit is going down, Jay is just sat out in the corner, just like, what the fuck is going on? He's like I don't want to say he's the innocent bystander, but he felt very bad for Sami Zayn. Now, keep in mind, way before this whole Sami Zayn shit started to happen, who was the first person that Roman Reigns feuded with back in 2020? Back in 2020, when Roman Reigns first turned heel, it was Jey Uso. Jey Uso, in this moment, was just shocked. Almost in tears. This man. Roman looks at Jay, who was in the corner, and Jimmy's like, "What are you doing? Come on. He ain't your brother." Jimmy's just screaming in the background while Roman is just looking shocked at Jimmy. And then what happens? Or at Jay. Jay, instead of beating the hell out of Sami Zayn and entering the fray, this man leaves the ring and walks out. And let me tell you, you thought that pop was loud. This pop was something else, because when Jay left the ring, it wasn't an immediate pop. When Jay left, it was like a slow occurring pop that was getting louder and louder as the farther Jay walked out of the ring. The farther Jay walked, the louder the pop got. That's how impactful this moment was. Jay leaves, and he leaves the ring, and Roman grabs the chair and repeatedly just hits and bashes the fucking chair on Sami Zayn in fucking anger, because he thought Sami was family, but instead he turned his back on him, so he just beats the living shit out of Sami. And then he goes for repeated rights on Sami after that. He rips the honorary use shirt off of him. And then Jimmy gives Roman the rose necklace that everybody in the Bloodline has. And then we get a bunch of "fuck you, Roman" chants in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. Roman just rips off the pearls from the roses and just throws them onto Sami Zayn like he was a piece of garbage. What happens after that? Jimmy super kicks Kevin Owens again. Then the Bloodline leave the ring, leaving SAMI ZAYN and Kevin Owens left for dead. And then the ending after that, when all the members of the Bloodline just are like on the outside of the ring, Roman just whispers, but you can hear what Roman is saying. He tells Solo, "We're at war now, Solo. Take no prisoners now." And that's how the show ended. I don't even know what to say. I really don't. This was perfect. This was literally everything that you would expect with a storyline like this. It's hard to explain, but to put it in simple fucking words, this is long-term storytelling. If a story like this that you have been building up for almost 8 months gets so intense and the culmination happens at this moment, what we saw last night was a pure example of how great long-term storytelling can be in wrestling. Long-term, bro, I'm so freaking shocked and happy that I'm completely botching the word storytelling. Long-term storytelling is what makes wrestling amazing. This whole thing, everything that we saw, the emotion, the spectacle, the drama, the intensity, the reaction, everything about this segment was just fucking pitch mega 1 million a trillion over infinity perfect. This was pure perfection. Nothing wrong with this segment at all. And hats off to everybody involved, because you had people literally cry watching this whole thing go down. That's how emotionally invested everybody was watching this whole thing. This moment, this ending, will go down as one of the best, if not the best ending to not only a WWE pay-per-view. This will go down as one of the best, if not the best ending to any pay-per-view in all of pro wrestling, period. That's literally, it was that damn good. I've never, especially for WWE, I've been very critical of WWE for these past few years. Ever since I started this channel, you guys know me. I've been talking shit about WWE, and rightfully so. Their product was dog shit. But ever since Triple H took over, this whole thing that happened at the Royal Rumble last night is exactly the type of shit that Triple H wants to give you for WrestleMania. I've never been more excited about what the future holds, and it's only going to get better. This is where everything starts to get intense. We are now 3 weeks away from the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Montreal. What do I think is going to happen? It is pretty simple. Well, this is how I would book it. You are 3 weeks away from the Rumble. The Bloodline already execute SAMI ZAYN from the Bloodline. SAMI ZAYN is all alone. He challenges Roman to a match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Now, keep in mind, throughout the entirety of the build for that match, Kevin Owens is nowhere near to be shown. He is nowhere near to be shown at all. He doesn't show up on TV, none of that. And thing is, the interesting thing about this is Jay plays an interesting role in this as well, because Jay walked off. Now, what they're basically doing is having Jay be the one in SAMI ZAYN's shoes, because now he has to choose whether he's on the side of Roman or whether he's on the side of Sami. And what happens is, during the match at Elimination Chamber, Jay causes Sami the match, which will lead to a whole beatdown of Sami Zayn from the Bloodline, which would then lead to Kevin Owens coming out in Montreal to a huge standing ovation, saving Sami Zayn, and both friends reunite to take out the Usos at WrestleMania. That is basically what I think they're going to be doing. And you know what? I'm absolutely here for that. I'm here for that because of the fact that this is the type of shit that I want to see in wrestling. This is the type of shit that makes me a wrestling fan at the end of the day. It is. I am so happy. But at the same time, I'm just like so excited to see where the future holds. This was the single greatest ending to all the pay-per-views that I have watched in my lifetime. Everybody talks about Hogan turning heel in 1996 at Bash at the Beach and forming the New World Order. Everybody talks about SummerSlam 1997 when Shawn Michaels, as a special guest referee, accidentally hit The Undertaker, which led to Bret Hart winning the WWF title, and that led to, of course, the match at Bad Blood between both Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker in their very first Hell in a Cell match. Everybody talks about that ending. There's a lot of endings. Everybody talks about the Austin heel turn, but I don't even know if you want to call that the greatest. That was kind of a botched move, if you ask me. But there's a lot of pay-per-view endings that were very good. But this one felt very different. This was just perfect on all means. All means. It was that damn fucking good. And everybody involved should give themselves a pat on the back. Everybody involved just deserves all the credit that they get because this was perfect. That was my Royal Rumble 2023 review. Absolutely intense. There was a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but with all the downs, of course, comes your all-famous ending. And let's be honest, that ending is the only thing that everybody is going to be remembering from this show. That was my Royal Rumble 2023 review, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the WrestleHavoc Podcast. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, push that bell for notifications, and be on the lookout for more videos right here on the podcast. And as always, it is Flamin' Ricky DeRays, signing out.